Hi guys, welcome to another episode. Today we're going to talk about debt snowballing, and actually we are going to kind of shift gears from that. We're not just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how debt snowballing affects, or how you can use that method or the strategy to optimize your real estate investment. So debt snowballing, anyone can talk about it. You know, you write down the number of debts that you have, student loan, home loans, credit card debts, and all that, and pay off the lowest and get that psychological effect first stuff set up and all that stuff. But we are going to take a step further and talk about how you're going to optimize, how you're going to use that whole thing to optimize the real estate investment. Because when you build, because we always advise on building your portfolio, right? You have one property and then you build, you buy another property, and now you have two properties, like two debts basically, right? And that's the, at the same time, you earn income, but at the same time it's a stress. So how do you reduce that stress level? By using this strategy. And we're going to be discussing about it. And Venkat can get a head start on that.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's, I think, wish is to build up their portfolio, right? Real estate
Correct.
portfolio, and then have a passive income out of
Yes.
that. Let's say you can actually have a maximum 10 loans for a personal, using your credit, right? Personal credit. Maximum is 10 loans you can get. So everybody wants to get to that, like 10 loans, 10 properties, at least have that goal, and then get like $10,000, $20,000 a month, whatever the
Mhm.
number,
Yeah.
as a passive income, right? Per month. So if you want to do that, if you want to build up that, you can actually take like 20 years to do that, or you can do it like in 5 years or 10 years, right? Using this method. This one actually speed up the process. Like you correctly said, right? Dead snowball. Think about the snowball, right? If you have a smaller one and you roll that snowball down the hill, right? It's going to get more snows to it, and then become bigger, bigger, bigger
Mhm.
eventually, right? That is exactly the snowball effect in this case. Like basically you're talking about, how do you, like, there are a lot of debts, how do you pay off the debt and get another property? How do you, like, or use the debt to get another property? That's exactly what this episode is about, right? So let's say let's start with the scenario, right? You are 25-year-old, you bought a first property and you're living on it, you have some debt on it, right? Let's say $100,000. uh that's your debt. And it's a townhome, right? And then you, after 1 year, you're going to buy another one, right? And you have been paying, like, you rented the part of the house, let's say, and your mortgage is $1,000. And then
We're talking about the first property, is that
first
right?
property, right,
Yeah.
right. And I'm just giving a scenario, like it could be a, like, somebody might be having this exact scenario, but you can apply this similar concept to your, like, your scenario, right? Your situation. So after, like, $1,000 a month, and you are living in a house with a roommate, right?
Hmm.
So roommate is paying like $700
Hmm.
rent, and you're actually paying $300 rest of it, right? So what you're going to, like, whatever the extra money you're making, just pay that additional one, right? Additional principal to it, right? Let's say,
Towards the home that you're living in.
right, exactly. So
Yeah.
100,000 will become, like, in 2 years, let's say first 2 years, 100,000 will become 80,000, right? Let's say
Right.
you're paying extra to it, right? And then your house is going to appreciate also in 2 years. Let's say it's 5% average, right?
Hmm.
10% appreciation.
Correct.
So you are getting like 30, $40,000 more, 30, $40,000 more
Right.
than what you bought
You
for
mean the value appreciates, so you build the equity
equity,
like
right?
20, thirty
So
thousand than the original value.
exactly. So what you can go back to the bank and ask for, more, the whatever the, you can actually refinance.
Hmm.
You can do something called a cash or refinance, right? You, in this case, like, you don't have cash, you don't have extra cash, but you wanted to take that extra cash that bank is going to give you, let's say $50,000 they're going to give you, right? Because you have you are doing a cash out refinance of the 80% of the value of the house,
Right. Yeah.
right? They do up to 80% normally, 70 to 80%, right? And then take the money and buy another house, and you can actually live in it and then do the same thing next 2 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you're actually you could bought you could, like, because you were doing these things, you bought another house, and the second one you have, right? Like now what you can do, like you rent the whole house, the first house, right? You're getting the whole, like you could rent it for more, and you pay the whole thing to that lowest like lowest debt. That the first house would be the lowest debt you probably have,
Correct.
right? So you try to knock that off as much as possible. That way, like the entire, you don't have a mortgage on that. You
Hmm.
wouldn't have a mortgage after, let's say, after 3 4 years.
Yeah.
Like if you can take all the savings, like we said, right, 50 to 75%, if you can save it, take all the savings, put it on that first house and pay it off.
Yeah.
So then you have a second house. You bought the second house, and then you have two houses now with much equity build up on both of them. And do the same thing. Do a refinance after 1 or 2 years. Like every year, you need to think about like getting one more property.
Property. And
And
the thing is that the best part is like the as you go along with this portfolio, you will see like, houses one by one getting paid off, and
right,
right, because you because that's the whole how that's what we are telling you. Like, first of all, we always encourage you to go for this when you're young, 2025. It's okay to have a roommate, right? And you can go for a townhouse as low as 100,000. So now you can kind of relate everything why we say what we say. Start when you're young, start low and slow, because it's easier that way. It's easier to pay it off first. So if you buy 100,000 property first up, by doing this whole snowballing thing, it's easier to get it paid off, rather than, imagine you bought a house for like 300,000 or even 200,000 first
right,
time. It's going to be a little harder to pay it off, even with the rental income, if you invest the whole thing. So that's why I just wanted to bring the things that we spoke in some of the other topics. So that's how you connect the dots, and that's why we say things that things like that. Encourage things based on facts, like this. So just wanted to use that as a reminder. Thank you so much for sharing that, Venkat.
right. Yeah, definitely. So this is like a 10-year plan, right? Just have a 10-year plan. If you are a little older, like in 30s, 40s, you need to speed up this process anyway,
Mhm.
right? You don't want to be working until
That
60.
was going to be my next question. So let's say someone as old as me, like 35, I
Mm.
want to do this. And is it still possible? Or is it, if it's possible, how much should I invest on my first property?
Definitely, I would like you, like it's based on how much money you have, right? Like, first of all, you need to get a high paying job, right? You need to get a high paying job, so the income is going to like create lots of avenues for you. Like, let's say you could able to save 100,000 a year, right? Because you got a high paying job, and make your spouse to work also, like high paying job, right? At least for 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
and you both work for 5 to 10 years, high paying job, probably the technology or medical fields, those kind of jobs,
Yeah.
right? Going to pay you six figure at least.
Sorry to interrupt. Don't tell people that, you have to get married in early 20s, so that both spouses can earn money.
No, yeah, that's another investment though. Right, you can marry a person who's already making money, right? Already in a good position.
Strategic marriage.
That's a good investment, right
Yeah.
there. so
Yeah.
so that's like, yeah, it starts from like you have to have a plan, right? You have to have
Right.
a 10-year plan, the whole
Hmm.
thing. But this is the high paying jobs. It's going to
Yeah.
speed your process, significantly. In this is going to like boost your
Yeah.
thing. And
No,
once
it's
you have
true.
100,000 saving every year, you could actually buy two houses, because think about 20% down,
Yeah.
it's around
True.
60,000 dollar. You can actually buy a good houses
Hmm.
that's going to appreciate, like buy a house that's going to appreciate
Yeah.
eventually in a better way, in a positive terms, right? And also you could rent it out with a high rental income, right? You have to do all this research. So there are multiple things, factors involved, like you need to have a good rental income, higher than any other places. And also, it's going to appreciate in that location, higher than any other places. And buy it when it's low, or negotiate the price and get a lowest rate possible, shop around, and all these things. And then have a good, if 20% is not giving you the right rate, put 25%. 20,
Hmm.
like just increasing that 5% actually going to give you better rate.
Better interest rate. Okay.
Yeah, just 5%, adding
Hmm.
5%, right? All these things combined with the, doing a cash out refinance, paying off the debt, using the debt snowball method, the lowest balance first, right? The lowest balance first, if you pay it off, it's like you basically have that entire income, the rental income. Let's say you are getting $2,000 a month in that house, right?
Right.
Put focus on that, all your savings, everything into it, right? Into that house, that's the lowest one. But when you're starting out, you have to focus on the one house. You only have one house, right?
Yeah.
And then go to the next one, keep on doing this. I guess 10 year, if you just follow all these things, and 10 year, you will have enough, like 10 houses, 10 to $20,000 passive income. Eventually, you will have debt, but the debt is going to be, you are actually creating debt from the other debt, because
Yeah.
the lenders are going to lend you money because you have several properties.
Several
uh,
properties.
right.
And also with that, like 10 year if you have like after 10 years down the road, you may have, let's say, 10 properties, right? To just to do the calculation. One thing you said is, like, you build the rental income and you'll have 10 to 20,000 rental income. That's one thing. And also you will realize the properties that you bought like in the first couple of years, even third or fourth year, may already have been paid, like already paid
Right.
up. So you have 10 properties in your portfolio, and four of them, or three or four, even more, who knows, if you're lucky, maybe closer to half of them are already paid off.
Exactly.
And that's fantastic. And everything that's coming out of that profit, like the rental income, is all yours,
Pay
and you
another
can
one,
use
pay
that.
the lowest
There
one.
you go. Yeah, put
You
them
have
on.
to like keep churning these things, and
Yeah.
know the tactics that,
Yeah.
based on what we said, just follow everything based on your circumstances, right?
Fantastic. Keep that phrase in mind, guys. It's about debt snowballing. And like I said at the outset, we are not just talking about debt snowballing like everyone else talks about. We are talking how to use that strategy to optimize your rental income or real estate investments. So thank you so much. I really hope that it's a refresher for you if you already heard about this, or if not, you learned something new.
Right. Thank you guys for
All
watching.
right, guys. Thank you.
Bye.